There comes a moment in life, an unexpected moment when you realize you've crossed the threshold of childhood and entered adulthood. It doesn't come with fanfare, fireworks, or the ringing of bells. It's not a grand celebration. Rather, it hits you like a wave. It often arrives quietly, without warning, wrapped in a difficult, sometimes uncomfortable truth, a truth that you didn't quite anticipate, but when faced with it, you can't ignore. And as harsh as it may seem at first, it's a truth that paves the way for your growth. It's a moment when you understand that life is no longer just about dreams and promises. It's about facing reality and discovering who you are. Part 1. Parents and Silent Sacrifices. When you were young, did you ever look at your parents and feel that they were just ordinary? Perhaps you saw them as people who didn't quite understand the world you lived in, or maybe you thought they were old-fashioned, stuck in their ways. It's easy to fall into this trap. After all, they've always been there, but they often seem so predictable. Have you ever paused, though, and thought about how extraordinary they really were? How much of their youth, their energy, and their dreams they gave up for you? Think about your father, that quiet man who may have never been particularly expressive about his feelings. Did you know that, once upon a time, he was a boy full of hopes and dreams, just like you? Did you ever realize that your mother, who now seems endlessly worried about every bill, was once a young woman full of potential, her heart brimming with optimism? They both sacrificed those dreams, set them aside, so that you could chase yours. They wore patience like armor, took on burdens you can't even imagine, also that you could experience a world that was kinder, softer, and safer than the one they grew up in. And now, as you stand at the crossroads of adulthood, what do we often do? We criticize them for not understanding us, for not being with the times, and we overlook the sacrifices that laid the foundation for our comfort. Yet, it's easy to forget that their simplicity, their quiet lives, were the very things that shielded us from the harshness of the world. When you were small, they were your shelter. Now that you've grown and have seen more of the world, perhaps it's time to turn that shelter back to them. Perhaps it's time to take on the role of their protector. Maybe it's time for you to show them the same love, the same understanding they so selflessly showed you. Part 2. Independence and Inner Strength. The people who truly look down on you, those who wish you harm, they won't do it openly. They won't raise their voice in anger or criticize you openly. No, they will do something far worse. They will simply walk away and leave you to fend for yourself. They'll quietly let you drown in your struggles while pretending they never even saw you sink. That's why it's vital, more than ever, to never live in dependence. Never allow yourself to remain under the shadow of another person's life. When you hide beneath their shelter, you deny yourself the warmth of your own sunlight. You'll never feel the joy of your own strength if you constantly rely on someone else. And yes, life is hard. The world is overwhelming, and we cannot change others. We cannot control how people behave or what they think. But here's the truth. You can change yourself. You can control your own mind, your own actions, your own destiny. The moment you stop seeking external validation, the moment you stop looking for approval from others, something shifts inside you. Your mind clears, and your vision sharpens. That's when your true transformation begins quietly, unannounced, but with a force that cannot be stopped. Part 3. The Harsh Truth About Life. Here's a simple but profound truth. When an egg breaks from the outside, it signals death. But when it breaks from the inside, it signals new life. This metaphor holds for us, too. Real growth doesn't come from the outside world forcing change upon us. It comes from within. It starts from the inside out. Maturity doesn't come from reading self-help books or receiving advice. It comes from falling down, picking yourself up, and continuing to walk even when it feels impossible. It comes from experiencing the rough patches, the painful moments, and learning how to rise from them, alone and stronger. So stop searching for answers in the world around you. Look within. Understand that only you have the power to walk your path. It might be lonely at times, but remember, you are the author of your story. People tend to view everything through the lens of their own self-interest. What is praised by one person is condemned by another, even if it's the same act. It's easy to fall into the trap of trying to please everyone, but don't. Focus on being true to yourself. The world doesn't need more people who imitate others. It needs people who stand confidently in their own truth. Part 4. Value and Relationships. Let's face it, people will come to you when you have value. They'll seek you out when they need something from you. But the moment you lose that value, they'll disappear, no matter how kind or generous you've been to them. It's a harsh reality of life, one that most of us don't like to acknowledge, but it's true. After years of working hard, of facing life's ups and downs, you'll realize one thing. Most relationships, whether personal or professional, are built on mutual benefit. They're transactional, whether we admit it or not. That's why you must focus on building your own worth, your own value. If you can't find someone to teach you that, life will become your teacher. In every relationship, there's wisdom in knowing when to speak and when to stay silent. Be careful who you trust with your vulnerabilities. Not everyone deserves to know your inner thoughts, especially those who haven't been there for you during your hardest times. Understand the power of silence and learn to speak when it truly matters. That's how you build lasting, meaningful connections. Part 5. Self-discipline and action. From 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., you work to survive. You grind away at the tasks of the day, fulfilling your responsibilities, keeping the gears of life turning. But from 5 p.m. to midnight, that's when you build your legacy. That's when you shape your future, when you lay the groundwork for the life you truly want. If you continue to feed your mind with negativity, there will be no room left for the positive. If you constantly fill your thoughts with fear, doubt, and failure, those things will become your reality. So choose carefully what you feed your mind. But beyond thoughts, take action. Do what you said you would do. There is no greater pain than the regret of not having learned from your own mistakes, the failure of never acting on what you knew deep inside was right. You don't get what you want simply by wishing for it. You get what you work for. Part 6. Acceptance, change, growth. There's a time in life when things don't go according to plan. It might be a job you thought was perfect but ended up failing, or a dream that turned out to be not what you thought it would be. In these moments, you have a choice. Either fight the situation, or accept that perhaps this path isn't meant for you. Sometimes, the things we cannot change must be embraced, not resisted. Not every storm is meant to destroy you. Some storms come to clear your path. They strip away the old, the unnecessary, the burdens that were weighing you down, making space for something better to emerge. If the road you're walking no longer feels right, don't be afraid to create a new one. Don't wait for the perfect moment to start. It may never come. Take the first step, and the road will appear as you walk it. Part 7. Knowing your worth. Being positive doesn't mean being cheerful every second of the day. It means, even on the darkest days, you trust that the sun will rise again. You believe in the possibility of better days, no matter how long the night. Love yourself, yes. But more than that, respect yourself. Because if you don't respect your own boundaries, your own dreams, no one else will either. Don't let others, especially those who have never walked in your shoes, tell you how to live your life. Their judgment isn't the measure of your worth. Success doesn't come when you're ready. It doesn't wait until you've figured everything out. It comes when you begin. When you take that first step into the unknown. Closing. If you don't like the path you're walking, start drawing a new one. It's never too late to change direction, to grow, to learn. Every challenge, every struggle you face, carries within it the seed of something greater. Something beautiful is waiting for you on the other side of every hardship. All you need to do is keep moving forward. The road will appear as you walk it, if you never stop.